Oh my goodness, this episode is overwhelming. There are so much details. So even her journey to defeat the Demon King, she's been suppressing and being inconspicuous, trying to not leave a mark. Because like Flame the Mage said, once you defeat the Demon King, you will inevitably leave a historical mark forever, which she did. Beautiful story building, beautiful world building. This is truly a masterpiece in every definition of that word. Wow. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist, and I'll be decoding the human conditions and relevant psychological concepts from each video that I watch. What does Frieren, Beyond Journey's Ends, episode 10, reveal about the arts of balancing ego and humility, the difference between imposter syndrome and true confidence, the importance of intergenerational wisdom, how to live a fulfilling life even for elves, and much, much more. And yes, rejoice, because I'll be properly pronouncing Frieren's name in this episode, finally. Let's tune in. Whose foot is that? Flame the Mage? And Frieren? Is this a flashback? Yes, it's a flashback. Master. I've made numerous comments in the episodes, even with Fern's development, with episode 3 I just released, about Fern's ability to clap back more and more frequently that we see. And I denoted that clapping back is seemingly innocuous and comical, but in reality, it undertones the importance of psychological safety. You have to feel safe emotionally and psychologically to be able to clap back at the authoritative figure, often parents, teachers, leaders, and so on. And now with this flashback, we're seeing that Frieren is able to clap back at her master, Flame the Legendary Mage. Literally a historical figure written in the magic history book, as they talked about in the earlier episodes. And this shows that they share a very similar parallel dynamic, that Flame the Legendary Mage was also an exceptional mentor. She was able to establish very, very safe and concrete psychological and emotional safety nets for Frieren to clap back very freely. But of course, mentor and a good leader is not just being pushed over. Being a pushover and people pleaser is not a characteristic of a good mentor. That's why even here Flame the Legendary Mage is saying that don't call me Flame, I'm master. But it's interesting to see how Frieren is able to replicate and do similar mentorship dynamic and mentorship as she did with Fern that we're seeing in this flashback. Also a highlight, this is one of the only flashbacks that we saw aside from when Frieren discovered the book by Flame the Mage about heaven, underdead, to fulfill her unfulfilled regrets, to reconnect with Himmel the hero. This is one of the only few flashbacks we've seen with a memory recall centered not around Himmel the hero or the party, since the parties are adjacent to Himmel the hero, but it's always centered around Himmel. But this time is actually about Flame the Legendary Mage. I mean, it makes sense because the title of this episode is called A Powerful Mage. So I'm guessing, this is my speculation, I could be dead wrong, but I think we're starting with this episode for Frieren to call back about how powerful Flame the Legendary Mage was. And now, 1,000 years after, she's on the equal, if not even exceeded and surpassed the legendary and powerful nature of Flame the Legendary Mage. Because now, 1,000 years later, Frieren is the legendary elf mage that defeated the Demon King. So we'll see the foreshadowing of this flashback in relation to this episode and the title.
Frieren, バザルトの最後の言葉は覚えてるか？奴らは言葉を話すだけの魔物に過ぎない。
So Frieren learned that from Flame the Mage, that words are completely fake and demons are purely savagery, beasts. They are underhanded. It sounds like Frieren's philosophy to eradicate demons with no exchange of words, no sympathy, because it's not really empathy, because you can't empathize with things you cannot relate. And humans or elves cannot empathize with demons because they're completely different species, different wiring, different neurological network, and so on. Not to get too geeky out there. So the word is more of a pity or sympathy. You can sympathize, but you cannot empathize in this case. So to me, it sounds like Frieren's philosophy with how she deals with demons. Of course, as you know, this is still a flashback in the middle of her fight with Lady Aura. I don't know why I'm calling her Lady Aura. I don't respect her. Aura the demon, the mage. I think this is to show us and more stage building that, oh, Frieren's philosophy came from somewhere, and that somewhere is her legendary mentor and teacher, Flamme, the legendary mage. But do you guys agree about this philosophy where if they're underhanded, we have to be even more underhanded, and I will bear the dishonor? Can we extrapolate this to humans? If you've been cheated upon, I don't mean sexually or romantically, or just betrayed upon or lied to, do you think we have the right to do the same thing back? I truly struggle with that as a Christian, and especially as a deacon in my church, where in the Bible, of course, I'm not here to preach, but just per my personal moral philosophy and Christian philosophy, that we are taught, we kill them with kindness. We pay back with forgiveness. And it's easier said than done. And of course I struggle with this. I want to get resentful. I want to get angry because getting angry feels good. But what do you guys feel about this? Do you think we have the right to retribute and pay back just because that's how they did to us? Or do you think going on the moral high road to pay back with forgiveness is a better route? Otherwise, when does this vicious cycle end? You hurt me, I hurt you. And as we know, a famous adage in mental health, hurt people, hurt people. So what do you guys think about that? Share in the comments below. And I'll be watching the introduction here because I think there's a lot of nuanced details I missed until now. Love the music. It's interesting Frieren's with her eyes closed here, even introduction. I could be completely off base since I've actually never seen through the entire introduction until episode 10. Shout out to all the viewers that commented to check out the introduction and even the end because of how nuanced and how many 19,000 layers of subtle details out there. So that's why I'm watching this. And even here I noticed that the introduction starts with Frieren with her eyes closed. But then through this amazing music, the build-up, her eyes begin to open. This is a parallelism of being asleep in life and being awakened. And I don't mean the BS wokeism, right? I mean, truly, due to our own ignorance or oblivion, we are unaware of what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, period. And outside of everything that we do know is everything that we do not know. That's the hierarchy of ignorance. The more you know, the more you recognize that you don't know. Plato. And here, I think even with this quick glimpse of 3-second flash of animation of introduction, we're seeing the foreshadowing and a culmination of Frieren's development, her evolution of personal development and emotional development. That she's been asleep, or in other words, emotionally disconnected her whole life until she met Himmel and his party. We don't know how long Frieren's been alive since then. But we just know that she's been very apathetic. Even she said it. I used to live a very apathetic, joyless, like literally careless life. She didn't care about anything. Not the sunsets, not the New Year festival that she missed out countless until with Fern. But then through Himmel's death, that life-changing event reshaped her perception and made her realize, wow, I do have this immortality and longevity, but my life is so meaningless. It has no spark of joy. But now in this intro, her eyes have been opened up. which symbolizes her growth and development, which you have seen continuously each episode. So I think even an introduction is very deep. Because one thing I learned from watching this show and all the comments you guys shared beautifully is that there is zero needless details. There is zero pointless details. So every single stride, every single detail in this show has deep meaning. So that's my thought. What do you guys think? Am I on or am I off? Even here, you see that Frieren is the only colorful figure. But everyone around her is all black and white, colorless. Look at the stark contrast. Frieren is colorful, but her surroundings and the people and the emotions are colorless. This again goes to her emotional disconnection and emotional detachment. That her life was colorless, literally. Because her life, her literal self, was the only existence. Everyone else in her life was colorless and meaningless. So even here, it talks about her emotional disconnection until her recent developments post 10-year journey. Wow, this shout out to whoever suggested watching animation intro. Very deep. See? Look, oh, I just got goosebumps. Look at the color transition. She went from colorless and meaningless life to now the introduction switched to all the colors with Stark, with Fern, with Frieren looking out from the window, hovering in the middle of the sky in clouds. But do you see this transition with colors? Her life went from a place of meaninglessness, apathy, and colorlessness to this meaningfulness and colorful existence. This introduction is an embodiment of Frieren's evolution and development, emotionally and psychologically. Beautiful. See all the colors. Frieren has found meaning in her life. Shout out to Himmel the hero. And I do know that Himmel means sky. Thank you for all the German commenters and all the insights about German origins. Amazing. Whoa, new character. Oh, so many people. I love the sing at the end. And Frieren's gonna smile. Not here. And of course, the meaning of that flower crown is not the last gift. Maybe it's the last gift that Himmel bestowed and gave it to Frieren, and praised her for, oh, I love the fact that you're collecting all the spells. And we know that because of that praise and compliment and highlight by Himmel the hero, Frieren's only hobby is what? Collecting spells. So even the end with that beautiful flower crown is so symbolic. But now I'm excited to see Frieren kick Aura's ass with her exceptional combat intelligence. You've seen how hyped I've been since episode 8, especially episode 9. So I'm finally ready to see some massive actions and to see how Frieren's combat intelligence even display throughout the battles. So very excited for this. Oh, that's a lot of blood. Oh, he's still alive? I guess he hasn't decayed into the black mana particles yet? Oh, please. Only if he knew. Ha! Got him! Frieren is from the hero's party. Right, sure. Combat intelligence. Combat intelligence. Oh, he said nonsense because he remembers Frieren's, I guess, old way of fighting. Just fight on, pure mana, just one-on-one. Very knight. This civil-like combat. But we know that Frieren, not just her personal and emotional development, have evolved exponentially since. We know that she's learning constantly in all facets of her life. This is the true archetype of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. They're not just defeating a demon as a hero. That journey, the keyword is not the hero. Keyword is the journey. It's a process. It's an iteration of growth. That her combat intelligence, the way she fights, the way she utilizes, I guess, benign manipulation that I talked about previously, her wisdom, her development, her growth, her ability to not go straight on, but be strategic about it under pressure. Every facet of a hero blossoms over time. That is Joseph Campbell's archetype, hero's journey. And this is not a stupid American movie trope, very linear. It's very non-linear, it's exponential. So I think we're using his, I guess, the demon's doubt, nonsense. She used always be straight on, like a buffoon with just pure magic. To Fern saying that, no, she's not going to go straight on. She used deception and combat intelligence to annihilate Aura. And we know that's going to happen, so I can't wait. Not anymore, dude. You're stuck in the past. What's the tactic? Huh? What's the tactic? They're preserving their spell somehow or their magic? Ooh. Oh, I got another goosebumps. Man, let me just collect my breath and my life force. This episode is already starting off bananas. Even with the flashback in the beginning about Flamel the Mage, I don't think it's only foreshadowing that Frieren is now the powerful mage, the legend, by surpassing Flamel the legendary mage. But even that comment, underhanded. You're so underhanded. We need to be even more underhanded. I was wondering why they repeated that word underhanded multiple times back and forth. I get it. Because they were foreshadowing another comment by this demon that was just killed. But you guys are so underhanded. That was like 4 different layers of foreshadowing just from the quick flashback of memory recall in the beginning. But I want to know, what is that tactic? What is this tactic? What is this technique to preserve mana so they can be more, I guess, longevity and be able to harness their maximum in the most optimal way with their mana? Now, of course, we know that's the turning point, but what is this tactic? Oh, another flashback. Oh, that was out of nowhere. Oh, dang. Whoa, all those. So elves, they are immortal or ageless, but they can get killed. This is the first time we got a direct confirmation. And I'm guessing this is where Flamel the Mage adopted or fostered Frieren? Miss said death's door. Oh, Frieren's been OP. Whoa! Wow! Frieren's been OP, dude. Oh, see? She was powerful but unrefined. I know I'm talking a lot, probably the most I've ever talked, and I'm literally 5 minutes into this episode, but this episode is a crescendo. It is so deep. I want to quickly talk about, this is seemingly unrelated, but I'll make this fit as I always do. Flamel, the legendary mage, we know that by this time, that taught Frieren the combat intelligence, the tactics, the guerrilla warfare. That's the technical terms because I'm a veteran myself. You hide, you run, you sneak attack. I guess you're air quote underhanded. Guerrilla warfare is single-handedly the biggest contributing factor to Americans cannot defeat the Vietnamese back in Obviously, we know Vietnam War, right? About 30, 40 years ago. And on the surface, that seems so unbelievable. Americans have drones, jets, tanks, best weapons, best training, world class, the best in the world. Vietnam, of course, they are more impoverished, limited resources, and all these other disadvantages on paper. But in reality, what happens? Vietnamese soldiers were able to fend off Americans for such a long time, and Vietnam War was coined and viewed as one of the biggest disgraces in American military history. Not to mention the whole, obviously, communism and philosophical undertones, that aside. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Is we humans, we have this exceptional intelligence. We have this ability to maximize the outcome based on the limited income. We're able to optimize output based on limited input. We may not have agelessness, is that a term? We might not have immortality. We might not have immense mana. We might not have 900 years to master a magic like Zoltrak or like Qual coming up with the first piercing magic, right? That to force the hero's party to seal him away because Qual was too powerful until they copy and pasted it and killed him and made his first of a kind magic to just be an air quote ordinary offense magic. That is humans' ability and the reasons why humans became the apex predator. We are not the strongest physically, physiologically, but we are the smartest. We have this neocortex, our thinking brain, our higher level brain network that allows us to maximize whatever we want to do despite and in spite of limited resources. And that's what Flamme the Legendary Mage is teaching Frieren. Dude, you have amazing, powerful mana, but how foolish to fight them head on. It's like literally nailing a tiny nail on your table with a freaking big ass screwdriver machine. In other words, it's disproportional usage of force. In this case, that's suboptimal. To be optimal is to use just the right amount, the adequate amount of input or resources to achieve the desired outcome. That is optimality. That is to be optimal in combat or in life. And now we know where Frieren picked up that from. And even now we're seeing that Frieren didn't know this until Flamme the Legendary Mage took her under her wings. Just as Frieren under Fern under her wings as well. Beautiful lineage of mentorship. Wow.
強い魔法使いの気持ちはわからねえ。わかるはずだ。
Hmm?
は？
あなたには私の気持ちがわかるはず。
Wow, that's true. There's always two sides to the same story.
はるかに強い魔法使いだ。
Whoa. Look at that mana difference. Yet, Flamme the Legendary Mage is 1,000 times more powerful. Obviously back in the days.
なんとなく。
Frieren's intuition and wisdom are both off the charts.
こんな子供も皆殺し。
守れなかった。
So this also goes back to my foreshadowing and speculation in episode 1. My first time ever watching this show ever is I speculated that Frieren also comes from a broken family, trauma. I gave her a clinical diagnosis of depression, I think in last or a couple episodes ago. Apathy, loss of interest, nothing sparks her joy, her seemingly aloofness since episode 1, her intentional constriction and suppression of her emotions, her emotional detachment, and so on. All those are attributes of depression, but not just depression, but also trauma. She didn't exhibit or show enough, attributes or criteria for me to give her a PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder criteria, because I work with PTSD clients. I'm a veteran myself, served 6 years in the US military. So she doesn't have enough criteria for PTSD yet. But now we know, as a matter of fact, that Frieren also comes from a broken family. In fact, she's an orphan. All of her village was slaughtered and annihilated by that general demon. Until, I guess, Frieren maximized her power, like Mob Psycho 100 moment, 100%, unlocked and killed the demon, and Flamme, the legendary mage, discovered Frieren as a result. So all of this makes sense. And now I've known this and I've speculated and I've commented, but finally, as a proof, when Frieren first told Fern that we are the same. We are the same. Despite Fern saying that we're different. Now we know. Fern is an orphan. We know that she lost her parents for sure. She almost attempted suicide before a bishop saved her. And now Frieren is also proven that she's an orphan. So they are the same in so many ways. They're both orphans. They're war victims or orphans of war. They both are extremely gifted, so-called prodigies. They both have exceptional mana since they're young. All of these makes this beautiful dynamic. And the reason why, aside from her dear friend late Bishop's dying wish, she was happy to take her under her wings. And why we've seen such a beautiful demonstration and evolution of their dynamic between Frieren and Fern. Because they are the same. And this makes me want to say, guys, listen up. A lot of you guys share in the comments that we are so alone. I'm alone, and that's why I watch reaction videos. None of us are alone. None of us walk this path of life alone. None of us experience mental health alone. The beauty cosmetics industry is the most lucrative with multi-billion dollars. Do you know why? Do you know why cosmetics industry are multi-billion dollars and one of the most lucrative fields out there? Because everyone has a skin. Likewise, everyone has mental health. Everyone. I don't care if you're rich, poor, Americans, Vietnamese, Japanese. All of us have trauma. That's what trauma means. It's ubiquitous, and it's things and events that happened outside of our control that shattered our reality as a safety, that we no longer feel safe anymore. That is the definition of trauma. It's a scar, it's a wound. Everyone has a wound. Everyone has scars. So none of us walk this path of life alone. I really want you to hear me. Take a pause. Are you really alone? Or is it that you feel alone? There are people out there as we speak right now, cheering you on. They might not always tell you that they care about you. They might not always text you or reach out to you because everyone is busy. Everyone has their own emotional and life baggages. But I promise you, really dig deep and challenge the story you're telling yourself. CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. Are you really alone? Or is that what your brain is telling you? Our brains are 3 million years old. 3 million, give or take. Our humans, Homo sapiens, were only about 200,000 years old, according to archaeological research and evidence. We have no chance against our 3 million years old brains. Our brains lie to us. We cannot always trust everything our brains tell you. We cannot. We need to challenge it, seeking facts. Fact-checking, another powerful technique. So we are not alone. None of us walk this path of life alone. There are people that care about you. There are people rooting for you. There are people thinking about you right now. So you are not alone, friends. Hang in there and seek professional help if you need it. And I hope this quick therapy session was helpful.
私が一番強かったのに。
本当にバカだな。私がお前の立場。
Parentification. I talked about that extensively with Fern. So even Frieren was parentified because her, as I guess child elf, now we know about her stage of development, her child elf was feeling that she was responsible to save the village. But she's a child.
死ぬところだったんだ。文字通り無駄死にだ。追っ手だな。
Oh.
お前が殺した将軍より強いぞ。
Whoa. Is it Aura? Or the... Oh, what is this? Who is this?
直前まで魔力を完全に消して闇討ちする気満々だったくせに
Oh, are they the 7 great sages of Demon King?
姿を現しやがった。こいつらは卑怯でこう
Underhanded and cunning. That's their weakness, pride.
見逃してくれんのか。
エルフを皆殺しにしろ。お前の命などどうでもいい。
そうかい。
Oh, Flamme, the legendary mage, about to go off.
確かに私は強い魔法使いわかるさ。今まで研鑽してきた自らの魔法に対する自信と信頼。
Oh, I just had another thought. Oh my goodness, this episode is overwhelming. There are so much details. All right, so I think this is actually foreshadowing and talking about why Frieren is the most powerful mage that we know of in the present tense, or at least one of the most powerful mages. Yet at the same time, she is unbelievably and incredibly humble. I always wondered that how can she wield and hold space for both this exceptional humility and this exceptional background and power as a mage, as the legendary mage now, because Frieren has become legend, right? How is that possible? And I think that this was a seed of the plant, or the seed that was planted by Flamme the teacher. Is, oh, look at all these powerful mages and the perils. The perils of these powerful mages is they're so powerful that they're proudful. They're so powerful that they're enslaved by their pride or hubris. That's why they don't cover themselves. If they sneak attacked, they would have completed the mission, killed Frieren and Flamme the mage at the same time. Like, nah, I'm powerful. I'm the great sage of the Demon King. So let me show myself. And that's hubris. You can't say that that's the integrity, that's the dignity, that's a fair thing to do. What are you talking about? We as military, when we're fighting against the enemies, you do whatever it takes to accomplish the mission. Because if you fail the mission, the villages, the people, the innocent lives are at stake. If we fail the mission, our country is at stake. So there is no honor in battle. There is no honor in war. War is the greatest thief to joy and happiness and progress, period. War is the greatest evil out there. Aristotle. So it's not about being honorable. It's about doing whatever it takes. But here, I finally understand why Frieren has this exceptional ability to be so incredibly humble. She never brags about her immense power. She never tells people that, oh, look at me, I'm Frieren. I'm the elf mage that defeated the Demon King. You guys should worship me. If anything, remember when they went through that city point to get through the end, their journey? People found out that she was the elf, the mage, or at least they were on their journey to defeat the demon soldiers, Aura. So they had this massive flower celebration, fireworks, to like a send-off party. And Frieren made a comment that, oh, this is the worst. I hate this. Right? So she's incredibly modest, yet at the same time, undeniably one of the most powerful mage out there, or a powerful mage. Even the title of this episode suggests the modesty and her humility. But this finally makes sense, and it's amazing that arrogance and complacency kills.
要するにクソみたいなおごりと油断だ。
What? What just happened? Wait, what? Yo!
私を雑魚と判断したらしい。
See?
こいつらは格上の
Because they were arrogant, they underestimated her. And literally one-shot TKO.
体外に放出する魔力を制限して強さを誤認させた。
Wow.
そうだ。相手が
What the f... Dude, look at her mana.
卑怯で最低な戦い方だ。
Wow.
Yo, this is crazy. I'm literally 9 minutes into the episode. I've already recorded 38 minutes.
フラメ
先生
This episode's insane.
私は魔族に全てを
So this is a continuation of the flashback and memory recall from the beginning of this episode.
私もだ。
けれども私は魔法が好き
Oh, she loves
私
magic.
も好きだ。
This is another parallel between the exact same conversation that Frieren had with Fern. I someone like magic when Fern was asked. And Frieren smiled and she said, oh, we are the same. Here is the original, the OG, the genesis of that conversation. Frieren said, I love magic. And Flamme, the legendary mage, also said, I love magic too. This is a complete parallelism between the conversation we witnessed recently and the first conversation 1,000 years ago. And here's the interesting difference. Frieren said, I somewhat like magic, just like Fern. But here, originally, Frieren said, I love magic. And this talks about the iterations and the power of time. In 1,000 years, even her love for magic has degraded and leveled down and stepped down to become I somewhat like magic versus I love magic. Because of the grief and the loss, her increased apathy, her loneliness, being only one of the few elves that survived the Demon King's invasion. So we know that Frieren was once more jolly, happier, less apathetic, less depressed. But through 1,000 years of journey plus more, she has developed depression because depression ebbs and flow. And again, depression is a clusters of symptoms. It's many things, not just one. Just like happiness is not just a single excitement state. Happiness is also a bunch of things: gratitude, joy, excitement, fellowship, mood, right? All these different things. So we know that Frieren has gone through so much more loss in the grief and journey of life of 1,000 years that took a significant toll on her, that even her love for magic has leveled down to become I somewhat like magic. And that speaks to the power of time. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Time is single-handedly the most powerful equalizer that equalizes everything that we have. Our advantages or disadvantages. This too shall pass is my favorite Buddhist saying. This too shall pass. The joy, but also the sadness, the trauma, the scars, the wounds, the brokenness, feeling stuck will too shall pass. So please, let's rely on one another. Create your communities. Find people that accept you for who you are. Because being seen, being heard, and being accepted is the 3 crucial ingredients that humans need to live a fulfilling life. We as social animals, we need those 3 ingredients. So hang in there. We got this.
を愚弄するような卑怯者は私たちだけでいい。
Guys, this might be an over-hour commentary, man. This is getting long. But there's so many details. Wow.
誰でもできるよ
あとは並行して基本訓練だ。基礎的な魔力を上げていく。
それだけでいいの
Looks like Frieren hasn't grown at all with her height since 1,000 years.
制限はどのくらい続ければいいのあまり長いと疲れるんだけど
私と同じくらい。一生だ。
Regulation takes
お前は一生
effort.
をかけて魔族を欺くんだ。
And even that mana regulation requires a big toll. It's very hard for me. Again, here is a psychological undertone. So as I said, regulation requires tremendous effort with mana, of course. But in real life, let's make this very practical. Emotional regulation, that's a technical term. Emotional regulation is our ability and capacity to regulate our mood and emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. Because if you respond or text back in anger, right? How many of us can remember with our ex-girlfriends, boyfriends, or friends, or family members that at the heat of the moment, you were pissed off, triggered for whatever reasons. You were mad and angry. So you send that text immediately and you regretted it hours down the road before, iMessage came up with the unsend feature, right? We're like, oh my God, why did I send that text? I should have sat on it. I should have slept on it. If I responded to that email from my boss or my colleague, if I responded to my girlfriend's or boyfriend's text the night of, like 4 hours later, I would have been so much less escalated. I would have been so much less mad. And I would not have said the things that I said that was so hurtful. And I regret it so much. Because of my emotional reactivity, another technical term, because of me reacting to my emotions, in this case anger, I said things that I regretted that I can no longer take back, that hurt the other person, that escalated this entire situation, and now we broke up because of this. Or now I'm getting fired from work, or now I have a disciplinary meeting because of my lack of professionalism with my communication with my colleague, whatever the case may be. And here's what I'm trying to say. Emotional regulation requires tremendous effort. It's so much easier, yes, to fight back, to lash back right away. You hurt me, I hurt you. Going back to my comments earlier. But what are the consequences? It's so much more dire and so much more severe when we could have just de-escalated it by stepping away. Leave your phone away in the room so you cannot see it for 10 minutes. Turn your phone off for 10, 15, 20 minutes. So your urge to text back is curbed by the fact that your phone is off. We call this using systems to help with coping. So emotional regulation is equally demanding of great effort, just like mana regulation. But what's the outcome? It's so much more optimal, and it helps you to get to the best outcome possible. In the mana case or magic case, it's deception and deceiving the demons so you can take them on one hit because they undermine you. In real life, in our relationships, in our interpersonal relationships, we avoid and prevent catastrophic outcome by just de-escalating the situation so you can redeem it. Because we don't always have to pour out the water with baby in it, right? Save the baby, but pour out the water. Step back, disengage when you're feeling heated. When your emotions are out of control, you're like, oh no, I'm not in the best state. I'm not in the best headspace. My emotions are running hot. That's okay. Self-awareness is the first step, and then disengage from the situation. Take a walk. Put your phones away. Turn off your laptop so you don't have the urge to respond back right away. There is a way. We just have to be intentional and be mindful about it. Now let's see some kick-ass actions. Oh. Yeah, right. So even now, Aura has no idea Frieren's actual capacity of mana, because Frieren is suppressing it or regulating it. Oh, Aura has no idea. It's about to be a rude awakening for Aura. Go Frieren, let's go. Go Frieren. Let's break Aura's reality. Smash her. I hope this is a savage scene. Just like how she did with Qual, killing him with his own invention of magic. Oh, that's it? Come on, Frieren, you've got this. Ah, Aura has no idea. See? Frieren has combat intelligence. Aura has no idea what's coming. No idea. Let's go. Go all out? Come on. I want to see some One Punch Man level annihilation.
先生
Oh, more flashbacks.
魔族ってずる賢いんだよね。なんで先生みたいに常に魔力を制限したりしないんだろう。
できねえのさ。魔族は個人主義の世界といっても人類と戦うための最低限の組織的なつながりを持っている。
Fellowship and care for other people.
そうだ。要は組織をまとめる偉いやつが必要ってことだ。人の場合は、例えばこの国の連中は地位や財
This is
産
about
やつが決まる。
emotionally intelligent leadership.
来た身なりのいいのが偉いやつだ。人の偉さは分かりづらい。だからああやって着飾って見た目で分かるようにするんだ。
There's order, but there's also emotionality, relationships. You can't always rule with fear and dictatorship. That's why it's short term. You have to lead with love, charisma, leadership for the greater good to have a long-lasting dynasty and long-lasting ruling. And obviously demons don't have that. And that's what Flame the Mage is saying.
別の手段として一時的に魔力を制限。日頃から魔力を制限するバカなんて存在しない。
It's not just stupidity, it's hubris. They're arrogant. They don't see a need. It's just like unless you're monks, right? If you're Zen Buddhist, if you're actually monks who are in practice, you believe that all creatures are sentient beings, even insects and ants. So they have this philosophy to never hurt any sentient being. I respect that. But for general people like us, would you walk around when you see a trail of ants? When you see a stray dog or a cat on the road, most people of course drive around because you don't want to have a roadkill. You don't want to kill cats and dogs because they're pets for a lot of us. So we have that. But for insects like ants, spiders, cockroaches, I know cockroaches are growth. I don't know why I brought that up as an example out of all the insects. No one would drive their cars around in a line of a trail of insects. No one will take a longer detour because you see ants on the ground. Likewise, why would demons suppress their mana, which requires tremendous regulation and effort when they're fighting humans? Because to demons, humans are nothing but praise. Humans are just animals to demons. And that's what Flame the Mage is saying here.
落とすのとじゃ全く違う話だろ。そして魔力の低い連中
A lot of socioeconomic disparities,
の世界は甘くない。
income gap,
だから力の強い
classism,
魔族ほど必死に魔力を
which is very innate to human tribalism as well. It's not just for demons. Humans have this savory traits within us.
だし、そもそもそんな発想すらない。哀れだよな。
That's a great parallelism.
奴らは魔法を誇りに思い、誰よりも魔法が好き。
Just like humans are extremely proud of statuses and prestige and money and wealth. Same thing.
なくてよかったな。
そうだね。おかげで魔族をあざ
That's her line of thought. She's glad she's not a demon, so she could kill demons.
3年か。
Wow.
私の見込みは間違っていなかったな。
She's a prodigy. Plus, who works incredibly hard.
だいぶ様になってきたな。フリーレン。
Oh, Flame the Mage is getting old. She's aging.
突然どうしたの先生
Look at that
ほ
praise.
どほどかな
お前はずっと昔、魔法が好きだとはっきり答えた。
たった50年前でしょ
Only 50 years ago.
そうだな。
Time perception, once again.
結局、私はお前に戦いのことしか教えなかった。
Makes sense. It's a very war-torn era.
後悔しているの
いいや、お前に私の魔法を託してよかったと思う。
I got another goosebump. So now it has become clear that Flame, the legendary mage, only bestowed war-killing, revengeful magic. Makes sense. They live in a war-torn era, like I just said. So Frieren didn't really learn to pick up all the beautiful magic to clean the bronze statues for the fallen hero party, as some of the viewers have pointed out in the comments below. Frieren didn't pick up all these seemingly air quote useless and trivial magic like blossoming flowers, the blue moon flowers that she did for a Himmel at the statue, right? Cleaning the ocean so it's pink again from episode 4. All these different things. I was like, why is she collecting all these useless or tiny trivial magic spells? Now it makes sense. Because Frieren's initial journey of magic spells learning and training is all for death, destructions, revenge. But after meeting Himmel the hero and the adventure party, she's learned to not let go, but balance out her tendency as Frieren the destroyer to Frieren the savior, the healer, and healer, I don't mean like the priest the healer, I mean healing people by saving them, right? So she learned to balance her dual identity as Frieren the destroyer and Frieren the powerful mage and the savior. So I see why there's so many very innocent and non-destructive magic spells that Frieren's collecting. And I guess Frieren's hobby of collecting spells even preceded Himmel's praise, because that's probably what recognition that Frieren learns after Flamme the Mage passed away. And also seeing Flamme the Mage planting all those barriers of magic around the trees that we know blossomed into the massive tree of life after 1,000 years, where she discovered the spell book for the afterlife. So all of these loops and all these questions I've had until episode 10 are being answered in this episode. This episode truly is a crescendo and a culmination of all the episodes before. Beautiful story building, beautiful world building. This is truly a masterpiece in every definition of that word. Wow. Foreshadowing, she did. To not be alone? Oh, this is where the flowers things happened. Wow. Aww. Wow, that's why Frieren does it a lot. She did it to Flamme the Mage, Himmel, that random field where we saw Eisen and the dwarf, or Eisen is the dwarf, Eisen and the priest chasing each other. Beautiful. Wow. Leave your marks on people. Flowers. Wow. Frieren has experienced so many grief and the losses. From her village to her first mentor, surrogate parents. And this must be her lonely journey of presumably 1,000 years before she met Himmel the party, or Himmel the hero and his party. Look at that solitude. Wow. Whoa. What is that? Fantasy polar bear? Whoa, look at the landscape changes. And as some of you guys noted, that she got lost in the beginning, not because she's like me, directionally challenged, but because the rapid changes of the landscape and the world around her. And that's a symbolism for technological advancements, post-industrializations. So she has been inconspicuous as Flamme the legendary mage's request. Wow, so she really didn't want to leave a mark in history. Himmel, wow, that intuition, that main character intuition. So even her journey to defeat the Demon King, she's been suppressing and being inconspicuous, trying to not leave a mark. Because like Flame the Mage said, once you defeat the Demon King, you will inevitably leave a historical mark forever, which she did. So this brings me to my question, to my point that, so can Frieren single-handedly defeat the entire Demon King and the entire Demon King's army, even Qual, if she truly went all out? I think the answer is yes. I don't think Frieren ever needed him or the hero or the party. I think all of that is to disguise her true potential, because she didn't want to leave a mark in history, because she wanted to live an mediocre and inconspicuous life as her master, her surrogate mother, Flame the legendary mage's dying request. Please do me a favor, or I have a request for you. Please live an inconspicuous life. And Frieren is so thoughtful that she fulfilled her dying wish, as she did for all of her dying companions in the past. So my question is, does Frieren have the actual capacity like One Punch Man to single-handedly wipe out all of her opponents? But that'll be boring. And if she did that, we would not have witnessed all of her personal development, emotional growth, and all of her evolution that's so beautiful and poetic until this point. And I think that leads to my conclusion, before going back to some ass-kicking action, is power, prestige, status, wealth are not the most important things in this world. Before I became a psychotherapist, I was a policymaker for 6 years in Philadelphia. I made policies. I work with nonprofits. I work with the government for the greater good of the communities that I serve. Before that, I worked in a private sector. I was a consultant, made really good money straight out of college. But I didn't want to be part of the corporate rat race, making more money for corporations, making rich people richer. I did that for 6 months and I saw how my life was panning out. I didn't want to do it. So I quit and entered a nonprofit. I did Teach for America briefly, and I went through my army deployments, and I became a policy maker for education. And then I took another pivot to become the psychotherapist that I am now. So that was my pursuit, because I recognized early that wealth, I'm not saying money is bad. That's stupid. Money is a vehicle for great power, for a lot of goods in this world. I've had this quote in my life for a long time, and this is one of my favorite quotes out there. Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. We humans don't have the evolutionary mechanisms in psychology to handle this level of stardom, this level of incredible wealth, statuses, power. So just like Frieren's willingness to give that up, to live a non-conspicuous life, I want to implore all of us to choose meaning, to choose to live a fulfilling life over the incessant and meaningless pursuit of power for the sake of, status for the sake of, prestige for the sake of. Those are great byproducts, and those are great vehicles and avenues for great impact when used intentionally and mindfully. Frieren, you are my new spiritual animal. Wow. Oh, that's about to be so heavy, dude. Oh, Aura, poor you, dude. You have no idea. You have no idea what's coming. Frieren, I hope this is your 100%. Please, for once. Aura, you are about to be destroyed, annihilated. Yes, we will.
勇者一行とともに魔王様を倒した謎に満ちた年齢不詳のエルフの魔法使い。でも、あなたがどれだけ長く
Aura is about to be crushed. Bruh. GG. GG. GG, Aura.
魔法使いだけれども
Psych. Let's go. Let's go, Frieren. One Punch Man this, please. Please, I need this.
ていない
I need this One Punch Man moment. Oh, it's about to be so heavy.
私には遠く及ばない
Let's go. Come on. Come on, Frieren.
私の勝ちよ
Come on, Frieren.
フリーレンの魔力を消耗させるまではなく
Here we go.
なんだ
Finally, dude. Yes. Yes.
正直このまま軍勢の物量で押されていたら危なかったけれども、お前が自分の魔力
Go all out. Come on. I want to see your mana aura. No pun intended.
ているはずだ。私は魔力を制限していた。お前は見誤ったんだ。アウラ。
Go all out. Come on.
そんなはずはないわそれ
Arrogance. Such hubris. You deserve to get annihilated.
さもわずかなブレもなかった
驚いた。まさかそこまで正確に
Very detail oriented. Okay, respect.
先生のやり方は正しかったみたいだ。
Shout out to Flame. Oh, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for the crescendo, the climax.
バカじゃないのなんでそんなわけのわからないこと
Combat intelligence, bro.
バカみたいだ。
Whatever it takes to take out the enemy. We're gonna show it? Come on.
ふざけるな私は
Oh,
500年以上
first profanity.
What's your profanity?
アウラ、お前の前にいるのは
Whoa!
1000年以上生きた魔法使いだ。
What the Yo, goosebumps. Holy shizzle. We call this reality breaking moment. Frieren broke Aura's reality. What the Oh my. Okay, let's check out the ending. Let's see. Oh, blue moon flower symbolizes Himo the hero. What is that? A weird dragon? Okay. Yep, blue moon flowers. Another callback to Himo. All these flowers might be for Flame the legendary mage. Right? Flower fields, because that's Flame's favorite things, as we talked about just now. Green trees, the tree of life. Oh yeah, Flame the legendary mage. I'm not sure what that moon means. Oh, harvest season, right? Seasons of joy after defeating Demon King. Do you see how colorful the ending is compared to how the introduction started? Why? As we talked about it. Frieren's life is now filled with joy, meaning, fellowship, communities, hobbies, mentorship. Frieren's life is now so colorful that there's way too many colors. Versus in the beginning, it was so colorless. So even the ending is symbolizing Frieren's growth and continually so, her journey. Amazing. Wow. So if you found my analysis and reaction helpful, smash that thumbs up. And subscribe to catch the next series. Like I said, A Violet Evergarden due to popular request. Comment your recommendations and your thoughts below. I read every single comment and I try my best to respond to all of them. And you can also email me at discovermorepodcast@gmail.com to see how I can possibly support you in your personal growth journey. Till next time, peace.